Hi again, Bellevue third graders. This is Mrs. El-Amin, otherwise known as Mrs. E with Communities and Schools. I am back to go over our week 2 of our second step program. Does anybody remember what second step is? Those were some great guesses. Second Step is a program that we're going to go over every week during our community circle, and we're going to learn all types of skills of how to be a ready learner. Last week, we went over 3 skills. Now, last week, we had some technical difficulties. Isn't that part of our virtual learning process right now, guys? We have so many technical issues, but you guys are awesome Bellevue students. You are an awesome Bellevue third grade teacher, and we get over those technical difficulties and we keep moving and we keep learning. So thank you for adjusting last week. Last week, you went over on Friday our first lesson of second step. There were 3 things that we learned on last week. Does anybody remember those 3 things? I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. The 3 things that we learned on last week in our first week of second step was how to be a respectful learner. And in order to be a respectful learner, you had to do 3 things. First was focus. Second was pay attention. Third was listen. And I know that as awesome third grade Bellevue Dragon students, you are using all 3 of those respectful learner skills every day in your classroom. So as we move forward to our second week of second step, we're going to get into our brain builder activity. Remember, part of what we do every week when we start our second step is to use a brain builder activity. This helps you to use some of the skills that you learned on last week, which were focus, pay attention, and listen, to have some fun and to get ready for a new skill. So let's get to it. Our brain builder for week 2 of second step is called Guess That Sound. So before we press play on Guess the Sound, I'm going to go over 4 rules. I know it's a lot, right? Just to play a game, but they'll be really quick, I promise. Rule 1. Rule 1 is that you are going to keep your microphones on mute because in order to guess the sound, we need to be able to actively listen and hear so that we can try to guess what the sound is. Rule 2 is going to be that you are going to use your focus and attention skills. You're going to focus and listen and pay attention to the sound that you hear so that you can try to guess. The third rule is that when you are ready to guess, you are going to put your thumbs up. That way your teacher knows that you're ready to guess. Rule number 4 is that although you might not get picked this time, as you go forward with the lesson for the rest of the week, your teacher will be able to pick some students in the first game, some students in the second game, and then by the time we get to the end of the week, you'll review and you'll play the game again, and then hopefully you'll get a turn then. But part of rule 4 is that you might not get a turn, and we're going to use our skill set that we're going to use this week called self-talk. For rule number 4, if you don't get a turn, we're going to use self-talk in order to remind ourselves that although we didn't get a turn, we're not a bad student, we're not going to get upset, we'll just wait until the next go-round. Part of rule number 4 in using self-talk is that in guessing the sound, you might not get it right. There are going to be some tricky sounds that you're going to have to use your listening skills to try to hear. And if you don't guess right, you're going to use your self-talk to remind yourself that you are such a bright student and you just guessed wrong, and you'll try again another time, okay? So as we move forward to our Guess That Sound game, we are going to keep our microphones on mute. We are going to use our focus and attention skills to listen to the sound and guess. We're going to put our thumbs up to let our teacher know that we're ready to guess that sound. We're going to use some self-talk just in case we don't get picked or we pick the wrong sound to remind ourselves that it's okay and we are still awesome Bellevue Dragons. So let's get to it, teachers. Have fun, students.